What's going on, everybody? Danny with DY Golf, and today we're going to talk about a shot that people struggle with tremendously, and that's this 100-yard shot. I got about 101, 102 to the pin, and I play with a lot of golfers that really from 130 yards in are really bad and throw away tons of shots around the greens. And honestly, there's tons of ways to play this shot, but they use the wrong club. They think they hit their wedges farther than they do. They don't hit them correctly. So on a couple of these different variations of this shot, I want you to focus on one particular thing, and that is simplicity. These shots should be simple, and I use a method that's very, very simple to implement, and if you practice it for 20 or 30 balls, you'll kind of get the hang of it on how far you hit each shot, and that is the clock method. I've got a couple of different wedges here, a 58 and a 52-degree wedge. In this clock method, all this is I'll take the 58 here, is if you picture my body as a clock, and you've got 6 o'clock at my feet, 12 at my head, 9 o'clock here, and 10 o'clock here. Really, all I use are these 9 and 10 o'clock variations of this. So, and what I mean by that is when you take your backswing, if you stop, that is about 9 o'clock, right? If you're looking on a clock. And 10 o'clock would be here. And so that'll give you two different yardages on the onset, square face, pretty square stance. I may look a little open, that's just my preference. But that'll give you two distances with each club that you can hit shots at. I know my 9 o'clock is about my 85-yard shot, and my 10 o'clock is about 100 yards. And then my 9 o'clock with my 52 is just a touch over 100, so I may have to dial that back just a little bit. And then my 10 o'clock goes about 120, 115. So those two shots I know for a fact. I've hit them before, I know how far they go. So there's a few ways you can play this shot. I'm gonna hit, 2 or 3 shots with my 58, and then 2 or 3 shots with my 52, and show you how to play that. I may throw in a pitching wedge at the end, because some people may not have these wedges, but they have a pitching wedge, and something, at least one variation to play this. So 58-degree first, 102 yards, roughly 10 o'clock or so wedge. That's pretty good. It's about 10, 12 feet right of the pin. But that kind of simplicity, I can repeat that shot over and over and over, and I know how far that shot goes. And I'll hit one more for you just to kind of give you the look of where my club stops and how my swing looks when I hit this shot. That one had a little more zip on it. That might be a touch shorter, maybe 2 or 3 yards at the most. But that's the 10 o'clock 58-degree. Now we're gonna switch clubs, grab my 52, and you'll see a much shorter swing. The trajectory will be a little bit lower, but this is just a different variation of this shot, and it's whatever you're comfortable with. If you're comfortable with the 58, hit the 58. 52, hit the 52. If you have a 60 or a 56, or a 50 or 54, whatever wedge setup you have, hit the shot on a couple different clock numbers and see how far you hit it. This is the 52. Now remember, with this 52, I'm gonna have to go a little shorter. So I'll be going to 9 o'clock with the 52, and then we'll be moving from there. So this is the 52, 9 o'clock, about 100 yards. I think that's actually the best of the 3 so far, and I'll hit one more with this 52 for you just to see that consistency, just to see the swing pattern of where I'm stopping and following through. You can see the ball flight was a little lower on that. Same thing, 52, 100 yards. Yep, just right of the pin, kind of in the same spot as the other balls that I was hitting. So lastly, the pitching wedge. This one I may botch because I don't hit this shot. But I'll grab my pitching wedge, sorry for kind of moving half out of frame there. I'll grab my pitching wedge, and this is a shot that I see a lot of people try to hit with. Maybe they have a 60 and a sand wedge with a ton of bounce they can't hit off the fairway, and a pitching wedge. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this pitching wedge and we're gonna open the face up just a little bit and just play kind of that 9 o'clock shot or so. And this is more for the beginner who's not as dialed in and hasn't practiced this shot but needs a 100-yard shot. Something like this, and play around with it. So I'll hit it with a pitching wedge just for shits and giggles here and see if I can hit it. I don't know. Open the face. Hopefully it may go a little right, but we'll see. That might be closer than the other ones, but I hope you guys get the picture. Dialing in your backswing, giving yourself a surefire way to know and dial in your distances. A lot of people guess. They say, well, this feels like 70, and they hit it. Or they just don't know, or they swing full, or they swing all the way back here, and then they kind of just dump down and decelerate on the way down. If you take an accurate swing and you practice, you can even do this at home, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and practice at 9 o'clock all the way through, getting a good follow through to be aggressive through the ball. Your ball striking will improve. You'll hit your wedges better, more consistently, and a hell of a lot closer. So I hope you guys got something out of this. I hope you can implement some of this in your daily practice routine. If it's not daily, if it's weekly, monthly, whenever, and then take some of this stuff to the course and hopefully lower your scores. Again, my name is Danny with DY Golf, and I'll see you guys next time.